Welcome back to the 32 podcast. It's your host, Avery.
You got Mark in the building, you feel me?
And
We got
Donnell J. Clayton.
DJ, you feel me? What's going on with you, man?
Hey, man, I'm just glad to be here. Appreciate y'all having me on.
Absolutely.
Been
Appreciate
watching
you
y'all
coming.
for a minute, so, I'm excited.
Appreciate the love. So I wanted to do an introduction for you, but you have so many titles. You're an author, actor, a role model. You've gotten into the firefighting field. You definitely got into a little bit of a social media influencer. So just from the jump, how do you define yourself? Like going into a room or, what do you define yourself as then?
Man, I'm just a work in progress at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We constantly going to develop
Right.
as men in general, from young men to older men, so I'm just making sure I'm always operating in capacity that I'm actually staying true to myself in
Yeah.
and was actually feeling natural and stuff,
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. So originally, like, how early would you say off rip you got into the acting part?
Yeah, it's one of them things like probably how you are with music. It
Yeah.
kind of was in you, whether you knew that that's what you were supposed to be doing or not.
Right.
I mean, even back going to college, I went to Clark Atlanta University, so I switched my major like 4 or 5 times based off whatever movie I was watching at the time.
Word,
I'm watching some Bad Boys. I'm like, you know what? Criminal Justice. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching Boomerang with Eddie Murphy. I'm like, you know what? Marketing. So it's like, then I kind of got into an improv class as an elective, and I was just natural at it. And it's wild because a lot of people I went to Clark with was studying film and theater. They on TV right now. You will see them on All American. You will see them on American Idol. You will see them on The Chi. Like, they own these shows right now. And them people back when we was 18, they like, you should do this. You should do this. And I'm like, I don't do that.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. I came like later in life, I started thinking about it more. And,
Can you say from that early stage, from then, that you seen serious people doing it at that level? So that was like a big influence or anything like that, or seeing such talented people so early?
it's crazy because you don't realize who you around when you in the moment. If you think about back in the day, like you think about Spike Lee and all of them, when they was like with Denzel and with Wesley Snipes, and they didn't look at them the way we look at them now. They just kind of kicking it. How we kicking it here right now. 10 years from now, you might be one of the best producers in the business, but you know what I mean? Right now, you my cousin. We chilling. We having a good time. So I don't think I really realized it back then. But you look back in retrospect, you like, dang. It's all, but you kind of can know when it's always been something about somebody, though,
Yeah.
People can light up a room. So,
So when was that moment from then where you were around it and to the point where you're going to take a little bit of a leap of faith into more professionalism with it? Like when this is when I'm going to go do this tryout that's a little bit more serious than just a class at that point.
And the crazy part about that, it all like fell in my lap. And I don't want to make it seem like it was easy, but I did a reality show on VH1 in 2015.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too. Yeah, for sure. Bet. Yeah.
And
Right into it.
that's kind of how that fell in my lap. I did that. And then after I did that, people started reaching out like, do you act? Do you model? I'm like, all right.
So
I just started trying stuff.
How do you even go to like get accepted to that? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause back
Man.
then you see the people on there, you don't know how they got on the show. You think that like, they randomly poofed this on the jet and then they there. You know what I'm saying? So how is the election process even in that?
What's crazy is it's as simple as watching a show and then at the end of it, they tell you. Like, if you ever watch, I was watching MTV. My homeboy Andre from college, he was actually on a show called Are You the One? The first season of it.
Show.
He's on the first season.
Yeah.
And it was wintertime, I'm bored, I'm out of work, I work construction, it's kind of seasonal, so I'm just sitting there watching TV. And I'm like, dang, I'm gonna watch it because Dre on here, I'm watching it. And at the very end of the episode, it was like, do you think you have what it takes to blah, 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 blah?
Yeah.
Email this. I'm like, you know what? Sent the email in just on a whim. They hit me up.
Oh, word.
That's dope.
I got sent videos in, and I didn't get that show, but once you in that pool, they kind of like try to use you for something else. So they're like, well, no for this, but what about this? I'm like, well, what is it?
That's dope.
So which show did you actually get on, back in 2015?
So in 2015, I was on Dating Naked, season 2. Season 2. Yeah, I know. The kicker is, it aired on my mama's birthday. They thought I was playing, 'cause I be playing around a lot. They thought I was playing until I got on that plane. And they like, oh, he really, I went to the Philippines, had a good time.
Oh, word. So it was like Dating Naked, was that on, it was on VH1? you said?
VH1.
Okay.
It was on VH1. And it was crazy. I never even sat down and like talked about it on camera before.
Yeah.
It happened, and then it was just like, the episode aired, and it was like, oh.
Yeah. Damn.
So it was just one episode or was it a whole
I was
season?
on one episode. I got eliminated, I mean, I traveled all the way to the Philippines to date a woman, the woman of my dream. Like, what she about to look like? I'm imagining. It's 15 hours flying and traveling, going through Arizona. Man, I get there and it was a chick from Ohio. I'm like, what the hell? I had the cell face. I was like, all right. Yeah, I had a good time though. I ain't gonna hold you.
Like it sounds like you said like it's. We were talking about that before the podcast. Like something like that, like you said, can lead into something that like more bigger opportunities for you just by getting that little bit of exposure.
Yep. So it's the exposure and it's the experience, and that set the tone for like the rest of my life, trajectory wise, like how I operate and how I view stuff. And I could just remember they gave me a water cottage. It was like sitting on 4 stilts, like a little mini condo on water.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah.
And I was just you there like while they wrangling you, waiting for you to kind of like come and be a dater so you don't meet people and don't mess up the continuity. Yeah. I'm chilling in there and I'm just like looking at the stars, like DreamWorks pictures, and I'm seeing fish jumping out, water jellyfish. And I'm like 23, 24 around that time. And I'm like, they done flew me from Detroit. Everybody I know is dead sleep right now. It's not even a comparison to time zones. Yeah. Just further I've been away from home. And I'm like, yeah, this how you live, man. Anything I asked for, I was getting. Wow. Food wise, they like, what do you need? What do you need? I'm like, yeah, this how you supposed to live.
Exactly.
The club wasn't even the same when I came back home. I promise you.
Is there any like crazy moments back then and like I don't know, I want to say embarrassing moments, maybe even a tryout or something like that? You're looking back and like, damn, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Man,
you look at old emails and some of the stuff you say, like, you don't know how to operate within the industry or what the do's and the don'ts. Yeah. I did one shoot with Pelly Pelly. I was thinking about this the other day. Because this girl on Instagram tagged me in a Pelly Pelly thing that's like old. I'm like, dang, I forgot I did that. I used to model some of their coats for them on their website. And I remember I ain't had no bread like that. So they was paying me $150 an hour. I'm like, bet. I did it one time and then I fell on hard time. I need some more bread. I was emailing Pelly Pelly like, hey man, y'all need me to model some more? Hey bro, y'all got some more of them coats? Y'all got some new coats in? You know I'm available. I'm like, you ain't supposed to do that. I ain't know no better. It's like cringy now. Like, I was begging.
So have you ever came across anybody that like that you have done that, or you like, or you come around Pelly Pelly now, and it's still like a cool relationship, or it's just like
it didn't mess up the relationship because I keep it professional anyway. But I don't think they pay much attention. They kind of like, you know what I mean? That could, if it was somebody else, they might have looked at it a certain way. Yeah. But back then. And that's kind of before social media hit like it did and people weren't as accessible. The fact that I emailed him, I probably might have been one of the 3 people emailing him like that. If you got 50-something people in your DMs like that, you're going to throw them in the box. Like, man, another one. So I don't even think he was frustrated with me. He probably was just like, oh, whatever. Right. Or he probably was just like, nah, we ain't got nothing right now, but we'll let you know.
Yeah. I think a lot of people forget too, like the it's an industry too. Like it's a whole industry. Like music industry is one industry, but like the acting, modeling, kind of influencer world, like it's a whole nother industry. What are some do's and don'ts of being inside of that industry?
I say, personally, you gotta first and foremost, you gotta know who you are for real. Because if you don't know, people gonna tell you who you are, and they gonna throw you right where they want you to be. Now I've been in situations where I'm doing stuff I don't necessarily agree with. And it wasn't too like out of there, but it's just like I had a boy who we used to do skits and stuff, and like I don't want to be a motherfucker to get slapped in the skit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get slapped and you take my girl. That's the skit. I don't care how many followers you got. This viral. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you kind of gotta like condition people how to treat you. Like no. When I'm doing a skit with you, I gotta be the man, or I gotta be, you know, because that's my brand. Yeah. Right. It don't even. It gotta make sense. I can't be in a movie as a man and then you see me getting shit slapped out of me and my girl taking on the skit. It's like, wait a minute. Yeah. It gotta make sense.
Right.
So the number one thing, you gotta just make sure you condition people how to treat you, and you gotta have but first you gotta have the idea of how you want to be seen. And that's with anything for real. Whether you're doing music, you gotta, whether it's your lyrics, what I want to be known for. I want people to know I talk about this. Yeah. Because the worst thing you can do now is contradict yourself over and over again. People start picking you apart.
No, that's key. That's huge because, like you said, like in the entertainment industry, like your brand is everything. Because that's how you get booked. That's how you get shows. That's how you get everything. So, yeah. What can you tell us about brand building? Because I know you had like 55K on Instagram. You post consistently.
Man, he know. Yeah. I say around January, probably December, January, I might have had like 7K.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I went from 7 to 55.
Before you even say that, he literally told me too, because we had like a conversation. It was like last year and stuff, right? And he was telling me about like what I needed to do to brand myself better and stuff, right? And just things to follow. And then he was like, watch what I do, literally. You know what I'm saying? He was telling me like, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z and be here by this time because I'm going to be consistent. Literally told me the whole rundown, and just even now.
I think I might have been at maybe like 20-something thousand when I told you I'm at 55 now. And it's consistency. That's all it is. You gotta, the easiest thing you can do, as when it comes to posting, is wrap your brand around what you actually do. And that come back to staying true to yourself. Like, if I gotta go so far out of my way to get content because I'm fronting like I'm some millionaire, I only can post a couple of times a week. You know what I'm saying? I work, I got my daughter, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I might have one day where I can get some content. But if my content is me going to the gym, that's something I do regularly. You might see me at work, you might see me doing some modeling, stuff like this. It's not really that much of a reach to do it.
Yeah.
100%.
So you kind of got to look at where you at and like, all right, how can I make lemonade? Even if you like, man, I'm in the gutter right now, man, I'm living in the alley. All right, reporting live from the trash can every morning. When they see that trash can, you know that's you. They're like, oh, yes, my man's Oscar the Grouch out by the trash can. Hey. I mean, you just got to have to make do with where you at. And then you're going to be able to slowly upgrade and stuff like that.
Right. Absolutely.
So even at this stage too, and you were saying that with work you're balancing, it's like a balance of a lot of things. How do you balance such a serious career, and now you can tell for the people what you do, and then still be able to be stable enough to even get to the point like I want to expand. It's not that you're even just worried about just getting by. You're you know focusing on the future. So how do you even get to a point with balancing those two serious things?
Well, it's a lot of, you bump your head a lot and stuff, and then you figure out what do work, what don't work for you specifically. But like if you don't know, I work for the Detroit Fire Department, so you get a lot of time, but it's still a busy, chaotic type thing. Your mind might not even be right. So I might have a 24-hour shift where I've seen some crazy stuff, and then first thing in the morning, I got to go film a movie about something totally different. And it's really perspective. I look at that like my break. I done seen people getting killed and all this crazy stuff happen at night. I'm like, ooh, at least in the morning, the worst thing I got to worry about is remembering some lines. To somebody, it's all perspective, because somebody on that set, that might be it for them. If they don't remember their lines, they're like, oh no. Me, I'm like, this is a small thing right here. Like, man, this is fun. Like, you know. So I kind of just prioritize stuff by finding the joy in the little stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. But how did you get into firefighting? When did that become a thing as well? Because you were also still taking a modeling series. You said you were doing construction early. So when did that become a thing where you were like, hey, I want to take this opportunity?
Well, it's crazy because my mom worked for the city of Detroit. So any employment opportunities come to their emails. So she's like, fire department hiring. I looked at it. I'm like, filled it out. I never thought about being a fireman. I didn't know any firemen. No family members firemen. I didn't have a memory of even having an interaction one-on-one with a fireman saying, what do you do? You know what I mean? So I was starting from scratch, but I filled it up. I just knew I had to work. You know, you don't work, you don't eat. So I'm like, I need something I can make money year round. Because anybody know construction in a cold state, you're going to make money in the summer, in the fall a little bit, but when winter hit, if you don't have no project, you might be hit. So I'm like, I need to find money year round. I done work construction. I went to college. I worked at Sears. I done did all kind of little odd stuff. I'm like, I need something that's gonna be solid with some benefits. I'm getting older now, and that's when I filled it out. And they hit me back, and everything kept rolling. And I look up, I'm in the academy. Maybe like 3 months after I filled the application out. And the best thing I did for myself, for real, unknowingly, was I had a good work ethic from working construction. And we used to be undermanned a lot, so I'd be doing a job with 2 people, you know what I'm saying? So I was used to working fast and like hard, and then I always went to the gym. I always took care of my body, so I didn't have to get in shape for the academy. I was already in shape. So I just hit the ground running, and it's been the best thing happening to me for real. Oh, wow. And I didn't even expect, I didn't even grow up. Most people who fire me, you ask them, they want to be on stage 2 years old.
What's kind of like a day in the life of being a fireman? Because I know it's not crazy all the time, but like, what's kind of like a day in the life and walk people through for people who might not know what day in the life of a fireman is?
Well, if you don't know, you really, you just always being ready. That's what it is, being a fireman. You always being ready, because when you get called, it's about to be the worst day of somebody's life. And it might be running the mill to you, like this might be the third time you've seen something like this. But that's about to be the worst day of whoever called you life, and they like help. So it's discipline. You come in first thing in the morning, you make the routine, you make the coffee, we make sure everything clean from the unit before. You make your bed at 8 o'clock a.m. You put the flag up. It's like you got a routine. And then alarm go off, boom, you go. Come back wherever you left off. You just constantly putting bookmarks in your day. You put a bookmark right here. And you come back, all right, I just did the coffee. Oh, time to raise the flag. Alarm go off again, another bookmark. And it's just constantly doing that, staying trained up, staying ready. And that's really all it is, man, staying ready.
100%. 100%.
And I know for that, this podcast today, I wanted to talk about consistency, right? So with a lot of that play, can you talk about the role like consistency has had in all of this and being able to manage that, and then even on a bad day, still get up and still prepare for the good days that are ahead, even though they might seem so far away.
Well, the thing about consistency is it don't feel good. People think because the fruits it bear are good that it's gonna feel good and it's gonna be roses and sunshine every day. But it's like being consistent. Nobody clapping for you. Nobody giving you trophies, patting on your back.
Right. Yeah.
People might get tired of you posting. Like I post the gym every day. They're like, you always got your shirt off. You always in the gym. You know. Well, yeah, that's how I hold myself accountable. If you don't see me post in the gym for a week, you might be like, "Hey, is he all right?"
That's deep.
You know what I'm saying? So at least every 2 days, I gotta make a post where I don't went to the gym. Cause it's people that done inbox me, veterans who wounded and stuff. And they're like, "Hey man, I be watching your workouts, man. I never say anything, but you keep me going." And so that's the reason I do it. And it's rewarding, man. Just staying consistent and just being on time. And
Yeah, for sure.
you know.
Yeah, we talked about that, I think, on the last podcast, too. Like, you might not see the results, like you said, like, after one day, a couple of days, but if you do it consistently for 4 months, you're going to see the results.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that consistency. Like, that's the hardest part for some people to get is, like, they just don't have it in them to do it day in, day out when nobody's clapping for them, nobody's happy for them,
But see, we in a real, like, I hate using this, but clout chasing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you can
It's the world, you know what I'm saying?
You can repeat that one, man.
Clout chasing, man. You know what I mean? Chicks I know that they got their body done, then they start posting fitness stuff, and you want to. Now you a bad influence on these other females who don't got the money or don't want to get their body done, and they thinking they about to lose their minds. They're like, I'm doing something wrong because I'm going to the gym and she got that. No, she didn't.
Yeah.
And it ain't no knock if you if you do that, but it's like you got to really put the work in and not worry about how fast or how long it's gonna take. You got to make it a lifestyle kind of. And people say that about fitness all the time. And it's certain things. You look at people when they get money, what they start doing. People like Kevin Hart, and they get money and they start taking care of themselves. They take care of their body.
Yeah.
They make time for like the stuff like that, for reading, for taking care of their body and their mind, and they get off that hamster wheel, man, because we be killing ourselves, bro.
Absolutely.
Like, think about the average couple, like, when they older. You see the old guy, if you see an old couple, an older male and an older female, he look like he at least 10 years older than her, even if he not. Because he done worked himself to death, keeping her happy. He limping around, and she got a pep in her step. He died, and then she get all his retirement money, and she go and figure out, what do I do next? He gone.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Because you don't take care of yourself. You don't slow down and just kind of like make that 30 minutes every morning and go to the gym. And make sure your mind right, make sure you cleansing yourself, It's just stuff as simple as that.
It's deep.
Now, tell us about your new upcoming book, man. What's
Oh,
going on
right,
with that?
right,
Tell us
right.
about your book, man.
So we had like an influx of calls just on the department where you getting small kids. It's either, and you see it on the news all the time, gun violence, right on found their parent gun. We had a young lady, she touched a power line one time and electrocuted herself and passed.
Wow.
I mean, you got all kind of stuff that happened in the city. And people might not necessarily know about all of it because it may not all make the news. But I figured, like, for the kids at least, let's do a book that's preventative. So any fireman or any person in general can go into a school and read this book to a 5-year-old, and they'll get, like, a bunch of little instructions on what not to do, what to do if it's a fire. And it's called, I use my daughter. I incorporated my 4-year-old daughter in it because it's fun for her, and I want to show her, too. So it's called Fire Safety with Firefighter Clayton and Lola. And just from the start to finish, we just instructing them what not to do. And there's stuff in there that adults don't even know. When it comes to just simple stuff, like most people don't know you're supposed to sleep with your bedroom door closed at night. So if your house on fire, if this whole building on fire and this door closed, and we waiting to come get y'all, now you got a room of air to breathe a little bit. It might come from under the door a little bit, but if your door is open, it's part of the, because the smoke kill people, not the fire for real. So it's just a bunch of little nuggets in there like that you learn from an early age. Guns should be locked up. It's reiterating, lock your guns up, lock your guns up. Because these kids find these guns, they playing Call of Duty and video games and stuff, and the first thing they want to do is
point at each other,
point them at each other.
Yeah. I mean, I can say growing up too, like being an avid reader, like reading books and stuff like that can really impact a child's life. Especially, if you make it fun, you got pictures in there, stuff like that. That's really dope, man.
Yeah. I was talking about a book that stand out to me specifically about boundaries. I don't know if y'all remember this. If You Give a Moose a Muffin. Y'all remember that book?
Oh, yeah, I remember that book.
And you think about it as an adult, it's just about boundaries. Because they gave the moose a muffin. And he like, you mind if I come in the crib and get something to drink too? Now he in the fridge. It's a little cold in here. You got any sweaters I can borrow? Out here in your closet.
Yeah.
So, I just remember that growing up. Like, you got to set boundaries with people. And that was from a children's book.
Right. Wow.
And I'm using those lessons as an adult. So,
Right. Well, how are you getting it published? Are you self-publishing yourself?
Yeah, I published it through Randy Rosario.
Okay.
Through her company. Yeah, she's doing some good work with that behind the scenes. And, it should be out this Friday.
Wow.
Oh, word.
That's coming out
14th.
soon. So where can everybody get this book if they're looking for it?
Oh, they be able to get it on Amazon. It's going to be on Barnes & Nobles. I'm going to have the link online, so I'll make sure I shoot that to y'all.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
it's going to be all over the place. But and then we planning on doing a book signing, but we don't have the exact date set. Because I want to make sure I give something out to the kids in the community who parents may not be able to get the book or just may not even see it for real. So
that's what's up, man.
Yeah, the community where my firehouse at, I want to make sure I can give some books out.
Absolutely, bro.
That's what's up, man. And also too, you had an upcoming role in the movie If I Can't.
Yes, with Mina Monroe. And
so even the groundwork to even get a leading role or something like that, man. How do you even start from point A? How do you even get into that relationship to be able to
see with that's part of being consistent.
Yeah.
That role came. It's 100% her. Meaning she hit me up on social media. Somehow she came across my page, and she must scroll and see I do a few things here and there.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have that portfolio set up, or if I wasn't consistently taking care of my body and making sure I'm in the right place, the right mind space, she kind of hit me up out of nowhere, like, hey, blah, 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 blah. Can you jump in? I jumped in, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't cast with the rest of the cast for real.
Yeah, okay.
So that's another, staying consistent and staying ready and stuff like that. And this is probably the third, fourth time that done happened to you where somebody called me like, hey, you think you can do this? And I'm like, yep.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about like the plot of the movie. Like what's it about?
I'm not at liberty to say too much about that. I don't want to. I don't want my friend to kill me, you know.
For sure,
but it's gonna be good. Hats off to her. She did a real good job with the writing, the script. I mean, she did her thing on this, and I can tell she really took her time. And so
have you ever seen like you did the acting, you did the movie, and then you look at yourself like, damn, man, I wish I don't know, you ever look at yourself on the screen and be like, damn, I wish I would have did something else, or because sometimes I listen to my own self on the song and I get cringy, like, damn, that shit sound weird, but
man, I can't even watch the stuff I'm in for real. Like, I watch it, but it's like, everybody, no, you did good. I'm like, yeah, all right, man. It's like we are all our own worst critics, and I'll never be a person that's like, yeah, because I did this and that, and you got to see me, and I say check it out, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, I could have did this a little bit better, or I could have did that a little, and that's because I'm just in a win mode. I like winning, and I don't like just finishing. Some people just want to finish it.
Yeah,
I gotta win. So it's like, if you psych yourself out and tell yourself you winning when you're not. But deep down, you know when you ain't winning. You know when something look bold, you like, damn, that's I could have did that better. With that being said, I need to take me some acting classes, man. Keep sharpening my skills.
So you ever been in like what was a growing experience, I guess, in the acting field that you had? That was like a pivotal moment where it kind of changed a lot of what you had going on and how you looked at the art itself.
I think I'll have to say, when I first started, I was working with Melissa and Richard. And if you know them, you know them. They huge here in Detroit when it comes to the whole acting scene. But I had the pleasure of working with them, like my first project for real. So out the gate, if you know them, they don't play. They kind of like they gonna be blunt with you, like, nah, that's not. Don't say that like that. They're not gonna sugarcoat nothing. Yeah. So out the gate, I had like stiflers. So any project I went on after that, when people were a little bit more relaxed, I had them in the back of my head like, no, you would not say it like that. Yeah. They ain't got nothing to do with these other projects, but that's where they set that trend for me. So anything I did, it's a certain level of, even if I complete it and I don't think it was good enough, I feel guilty. I'm like, damn, they'd be like, ugh.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What's your goal for your acting? Are you trying to like be in a major motion picture? Are you trying to do like more serious roles like plays and stuff? Or are you trying to like what's your trajectory?
I've done plays and I love plays because it's like you got to be there. You in the moment 100% when it comes to plays. It's like if you mess up, you got to keep going. It ain't no cut. Let's run that back. You got to make sure y'all both on track. You might miss a word and I got to help you I got to remind you missed that word. Because the show got to go on. It's something that you got to bring up so I can say my next lines. And I got to say, well, what about tomorrow? Oh, yeah, because tomorrow we got to go to the plant and do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but to answer the question, overall, I want to get into some action movies, man.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm talking like I want to be, shooting, or learning, because I had one role where I learned some choreography, fighting and stuff. I'm like, this is dope.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get into that for real.
What movies got you into want to do, or like I say pivotal people? For me, it'd be like Denzel Washington, even though he's not necessarily an action movie, but he's somebody I feel like is a great icon in the acting space. You know what I'm saying? So we're like some pivotal movies or roles or people.
Man, I say Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Yeah.
That's one person I used to look at him and I look at him in Low Down Dirty Shame, like a bunch of movies like that. They wasn't doing it back then for real if you think about it. I mean, he was doing the action with a little bit of comedy in there, and you know, so that's one of the people that I looked at first. And then you of course you got Eddie Murphy, you got Denzel Washington, you got even people like Flex Alexander, Leon. It's people who like shows that don't get a whole lot of notoriety, but we grew up watching like one-on-one.
Yeah.
It's kind of a lane where you like, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. There's representation. It's showing me as a brown-skinned black man, dark-skinned, brown-skinned, I could do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a lot of examples out there, like especially in the 90s.
100%. Real quick, you talk about like the Detroit acting scene as a whole, because I know Detroit is on the up and up when it comes to entertainment industry, especially definitely. We got music and we got acting too. What's the Detroit scene look like as far as acting and stuff like that?
The Detroit scene when it comes to acting is just riddled with talent. It's like it's a lot. It's a lot of people that's been working behind the scenes for years and they finally just now getting seen. And it's a lot of people who might have gave up too early and they ain't getting seen yet, who need to probably come back. But overall, it's a whole lot of talent here.
For sure.
It's a whole lot, and it's some powerhouses for real. You look at people, and I don't like getting in the naming people because then you forget people and all that kind of stuff. And people,
for sure.
They ain't no beef or nothing like that. But me, I kind of just sit back and I've been taking what comes to me, whatever.
Okay.
But I think I'm gearing up next year to start putting myself out there more and actually aiming at what I want versus like people go, hey man, can you do this? Can you do this? Because I can't even lie. On the humble, it's just been me ready and not working on nothing, and somebody hit me up like, hey, somebody bring my name up. And next thing I know, I'm on the set and learning the script real quick and then performing it. But I'm trying to get leading roles from the ground up where they pick me first, and you know.
Hell yeah.
How are the networking opportunities and I say all of these things, you know, when you walk into a room, because even in that you come across different walks of life, I guess, on an everyday basis. It could be in the acting, it could be just your actual firefighting job. So how do you always put yourself in a good position networking?
The weird part for me is it's all like it's not an act, but it's all like depending on what I put on, I'm about to change who I am. Or not even change who I am, I wear different hats. So once I put that uniform on, that's who I am. When I throw my firefighting stuff on, I'm in that mode. When I throw some casual stuff on, I'm in that mode. When I'm going to the gym, I'm in that mode. So it's like almost jack of all trades, master of none, which it's not necessarily a bad thing, but the biggest thing that's got me where I'm at right now is making sure I'm 100% prepared and dressed for what I'm doing for the day. It's not going. I feel like it's tacky for me to show up to an audition and some firefighter stuff just because I just got off of work.
Yeah,
you got to plan accordingly. So I can work all night and take a shower at work and throw on a suit because I'm auditioning for a role to be a business executive.
Yeah.
They don't care what you did the night before. They don't care if I was up all night doing whatever for the city, and they shouldn't care. You shouldn't get no special treatment. So you kind of got to go about it like that. And so far, it's just been getting me where I need to go. But I feel like soon it's going to be like a time where I need to figure out where I'm going to put more of my energy at.
I feel that.
What would you give the younger you, if you could go back in time, let's say 10 years or anything, right? What would be something that a piece of advice you would give the younger you?
I would have to tell the younger me to I kind of struggled for a minute with, I second guessed myself a lot, you know what I mean? And part of it was confidence, but part of it was just second guess yourself. Almost everybody got that voice in their head like, oh man, no, who you think that's stupid? Who you think you are? Once you get over that and you get that positive reinforcement, but I would have told my younger self, you don't need that. You already there. Keep yourself on the same track. You don't need nobody clapping for you. You don't need nobody telling you this and that. And my whole life, I didn't have my older sister doing that for me already. Shanique and Nicole, shout out, do dream on. But my whole life, she didn't actually been like, whether it's her leaving me a note before basketball tryouts or whatever. So I had her in my corner because since I was a kid, I always second guess myself. I think twice. Like, I don't know. Well, I ain't gonna do that. And every time you do that to yourself, it almost kill you when you see somebody else doing it. You like, damn, that was my idea. I could have did that.
Yeah.
And I could have did it better. So that's probably what I tell them, man. Just go ahead and do it.
And then for this one, I want to get into a little bit of some random questions, right? I got a couple. Of course, we have some more pop up. But old school music or new school music, man? Which one you going with?
Man, so this, you know me, so it's crazy because I don't hang out like I used to. So it's no new school music for me, for real. If I'm not around Daniel or you, I don't really hear it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I gotta say old school. And it's like, I'll wake up in the morning, I might throw on Ice Brothers on while I'm getting dressed. And it just set the tone for the rest of my day. I can't really throw on certain music while I'm getting dressed because it's going to put me in the mode.
Yeah.
Depending on what they saying and what they talking about. I'm not waking up thinking about having sex. I'm not waking up thinking about gang, man. It's like, depending on what the music is, it's like, some music just be, it's a song called Be Grateful.
Yeah.
That's the song called. The whole thing's like, be grateful for what you got. That's one, diamond in the back. I mean, you wake up everybody, Teddy Pendergrass. Wake up everybody, no more sleeping in bed. It was messages in that, and it's smooth. Get you going on your day, and it's just telling you, man, be grateful. Stuff could be worse, and that's a perfect way to start your day for real.
Yeah. So you say those two songs are definitely making a playlist?
Oh yeah, they're making a playlist for sure. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make an early morning playlist.
Okay.
And I'm gonna send it to you because it's a few songs I wake up to,
sure.
and you just want to wake up grooving for real. You want your day. Lovely day, doom.
That's facts.
You telling yourself it's gonna be a lovely day. You can't go wrong.
Yeah. So did you have that like musical influence growing up where you had like for me my grandma, my brother, definitely my mom. They just played those songs that if it wasn't for them I wouldn't even know about these artists. You had that upbringing too where
I did. It's crazy because I had an uncle who just was obsessed with music.
Yeah.
Large music collection in his house. And that's really where I learned all my music from, for real. Between that, my dad, of course, your parent gonna have their favorite songs.
Right, yeah, for sure.
But he was like a fanatic for music. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
you just gonna pick up on it.
I picked up on it. He just, that's what it is. This song, it was so bad, I can hear the samples in like new music.
Yeah.
Even if it's 2 seconds, I'm like, dang, that song. You be looking like, how you know that song?
So do you mess with like I don't want to put you on a spot like that and kind of go like new music versus old music. But is there certain times where you be hearing the samples you be like, damn, like fuck the song up. Like you ever hear
it is. It's times where I can hear like that song y'all did was cold, Broadway.
Yeah.
I was listening to that song every other day at that time.
For sure.
And then one of y'all, I think he might have heard it.
Yeah.
It's by the Bee Gees. It's a song called Broadway by the Bee Gees. That sample you did was cold. I done seen people mess samples up, and I'm like, they might as well left that alone.
Yeah.
I done seen it, for real. Like, I don't get too far outside of Detroit music, for real. And I don't know what it is. I don't know because I grew up on Doughboy's Cash Out. But I don't really get too far out of that. If it's some Drake or it's something that's kind of forced on you. Because now, you scroll on TikTok or Instagram enough, you're going to hear the same songs over and over again. But, I kind of mess with Detroit music on a surface level.
Yeah. I feel like Detroit music too, like you said, Doughboy's Cash Out, like somebody like Payroll Giovanni, like you listen to his albums, it's full of samples, full of like 80s samples.
I remember We Run the City, Volume 1. Me and my dough.
Okay.
Me and my dough. I mean, I had to be, it's like 80 or something, so I'm probably like in high school, freshman or something like that. On my headphones, catching the bus, the Finkel bus, and that's what I'm listening to. Me and my dough. Shake that ass for a rich nigga. I mean, all that stuff, they was like ahead of their time too, for real.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, they kind of had the city on lock. You go to Northland and grab that shit.
Yeah, man, back when Northland was open, man, grabbing a pair of ones, man, that feeling.
R.I.P. Northland, man,
Yeah. Man, but when you went to Atlanta for school, did you take some of that Detroit music with you? How did people
Oh, yeah, they loved
that?
it, bro. When I got down to Clark, Atlanta, it had to be around 2010, 11. So the first car I bought, I had a 1995 BMW. Like I bought it for some old white dude.
That's clean.
It was clean. It was like the Pay the Fool joint, low key. Like it was green with the tan interior. And I had We Run the City Volume 1 in there. And that's when No Ceilings that came out around that time too.
Ooh.
So either I was listening to No Ceilings or I was listening to that. But they hear that she's saying that she love me, but I never love hoes. So I guess it's just me and my dough. They be like, what's that?
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, boy, what that is right there? What that is and playing that car? I'm like, what you? Them ATL niggas, what that is right there, boy?
Yeah.
I said, Doughboy Cash Out. And that's when they started coming down, and they was actually with was it T.I. around that time or Jeezy?
It was Jeezy for
Jeezy.
sure. Jeezy.
That's what it was. Yeah. They was around Jeezy that time, and that's when stuff started kind of like, you know, really popping for them and stuff outside of Detroit. But like, yeah, it was like one listen. They like, what's this?
Nice.
My boys from Oakland, California fuck with it the most, which is because
but
it's a similar sound.
The sounds are almost the same. Even the same producers. You kind of, yeah, for sure.
Yep. They used to be like, hey, what's this, fool? I'm like, oh, this those boys. Y'all ain't up on this? They gravitated to our dog hoes, too.
Yeah, that's
like, what's this? You dogs listening to our dog hoes? Like, what's this?
Definitely on the college campus, man. When they play our dog hoes, man, dog, like...
Just one, but...
that's definitely going off in the party, but yeah.
It's going off. Good ass day. That's one song I can wake up to. That's a rap song I can wake up to.
Yeah. To me, for a minute, I'm not gonna lie, like, Kid was my favorite rapper for a minute. Just because, like, the energy he put into the song. He came with the young energy to me. Like, Payroll was, like, smooth, you know what I'm saying? He was smooth with it, but Kid definitely had that energy.
I ain't gonna lie. When Keith.
Yeah.
When Keith hit his stride, dog, he started going crazy. Now, he was my favorite for a while because it was just the punchlines that me had was had me going crazy, man. I'm like, he talking crazy.
Definitely the punchlines back then. I'd say that, like, Doughboy's the pioneers for how
it is now.
Yeah,
that boy said, give hoes jitters by the way my diamonds glitter. Boy, I was dead. I was like, boy, he going crazy. He said jitters. I ain't never heard a rapper say that. Give hoes jitters by the way my diamonds glitter. I said, this boy going crazy.
Dog. I
was like, he going crazy.
All right, so I want to get to this one then. Jay-Z versus Lil Wayne. Which one you picking?
Ooh-wee. And, you know, I talked about this at work one time, and Lil Wayne, one of them people who you forget what the fuck he did because he chilled out for a while.
Yeah.
Jay-Z been so relevant, such a staple, how Drake been. He been a staple. Every year, Jay-Z got something, or he doing something, or Beyonce doing something. So it's like he bread and butter. He got to be there.
Yeah.
But when you go back and you listen to all that Wayne shit, Wayne had the whole industry in a chokehold for a minute.
Yeah, you said
he was taking motherfuckers' beats and rapping over them. You forget the original song. Remember Mr. Jones? Mr. Jones. You probably don't, because he took that and said, the sky's the limit. The sky is the limit.
Yeah.
He took Mike Jones' beat and he rapped over it, and then we forgot that Mike Jones had a song with that beat.
He did that with No Ceilings when that shit came out. I was just like, this is Lil Wayne song now. Like, fuck.
What was that song?
Ice Cream Paint Job.
Yeah. I stopped listening to Ice Cream Paint Job after Wayne did that.
Yeah.
But I have to say, my older brother was like crazy on Jay-Z. So I remember he left the Blueprint. He moved out. He's like 18 or something like that. Left the Blueprint behind by mistake. I'm like, oh, what's this? HOVA, the Blueprint 2, baby, on the way. So it's like, I can't really... I got my mojo back, baby. Oh, behave.
I feel like it's four people who, like, you can't really compare to each other. Like Kanye West, Drake.
That's what I'm saying.
Jay-Z, Lil Wayne.
It's hard.
Those four are just, like, difficult.
I think Jay-Z is a good comparison to Lil Wayne, because unlike a lot of what everybody did, it's like Lil Wayne at a young age took the entire... It was a point where...
He took it over.
Where you had...
Go DJ.
Damn, I'm forgetting.
Hot Boys?
Yeah, I'm forgetting the names. Not Manny Fresh, but Juvenile. You had Juvenile lead a group and decide he want to do his own thing, right? And all that was left out of everybody, people in jail, is Lil Wayne.
Yep.
He kept that. He ran.
He held it down.
He was not the main person up front. It was probably BG before him. You know what I'm saying?
He held it down. So like, yeah, you're right. Because I mean, he done made an anthem. Everybody call me DJ. He made go DJ. They be coming up, they playing in the gym all the time. I be like, yeah, I gotta pick Wayne just off of that.
It's just a thing where like you carry an entire label and know we say that was Cash Money, right? And he was carrying Young Money too, man. Before
then he
Drake.
bought out Drake. Yeah, you're right. He bought out Drake and all of them, and Nicki Minaj. And I'm gonna have to say Wayne. Just because of my age, I gotta say Wayne too.
Yeah.
I can't even go. I don't have no memories of the Blueprint for real.
Yeah.
I heard it secondhand. But Wayne, I was in high school. I'm listening to this before basketball games.
And that was the mixtape era. It's not like that no more.
It was. With Gucci, that's when Gucci and them was out, mixtape era.
Yeah, Dat Piff,
the
live mixtapes.
Yeah, because Gucci was going crazy as hell around the same time.
He was. I feel like the last mixtape summer was probably maybe 2013 to me. Or, you know,
The last one was when Cushion Orange Juice and all was coming out. When Wiz kind
That's
of,
why I feel like it
kind of ended. It fizzled around 2010, 11, 12. That's when it kind of started like tapering off.
Migos was the last of like the people who kind of made it through off mixtapes in a way, and they kind of came up in like 2012.
You're right.
Shit.
Travis Porter was hot around that time.
Yeah, Travis Porter.
And see, I was in Atlanta when Travis Porter came out. It was lit, boy. I used to be on campus at Clark, Atlanta. Bring it back. They was going crazy on campus.
Ooh-wee.
They had a song called College Girl. They filmed on campus. I remember getting out of class early, trying to be in the video. They was filming it on our campus.
That's crazy. Dang, Travis Porter, man. I haven't heard
Yep.
him in a long time.
Hey, just is kind of like just giving the topic really quick. Rich Homie Quan did drop a project this past week. I do want to check it out. That's something I want to be able to talk about next episode. But Rich Homie Quan did drop. But basketball or football?
I gotta say basketball. I played it.
Okay.
See, I didn't play football.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because if I played football, I probably would have been straight. I just didn't have a team in my high school.
Yeah. So what position you play in basketball?
They had me at center because I had a crazy vertical. And I shouldn't have been. With our school not having a football team, we always was smaller track runners and cross country and all that.
Yeah.
So people who really was about sports, you going to go to Persia and play football in the off season, then basketball.
Yeah.
So your center, basketball may be his secondary sport. But this motherfucker 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", you know what I'm saying? He 230 pounds.
Semi in shape too.
Yeah, I just can jump with them. So they had me at center, but I was skinny, probably like maybe 6'1", 6'2" around that time. But I was jumping higher than most of them. I was hanging in the air longer.
So you ever catch your body at the rim?
Oh man, I done caught too many bodies at the rim. That's crazy. I used to jump, man. I done caught too many bodies at the rim, bro. I can't even. They had an alley-oop play for me on JV.
Damn. Set up for you.
It was an inbound play from under the rim. They would inbound the ball. We'd be at the free throw line. If it's me, somebody set me a screen. I come around and they throw it from out of bounds. I only made it once. They used to hack the hell out of me on that play, boy. Like getting poked in the eye.
Damn. You said you caught a body at the rim. So I guess if social media was what it was like now back then, that should have been bad.
I would have for sure been on the. I would have been somewhere. It's crazy. And imagine how much stuff we forgot. We was hoop at Stokel Park every other day, all day, on them double rims. So outside, boy, I wore a hole in my Hirachis. I had the 04 Hirachis.
Oh man,
them boys had holes in the bottom. The bottom of your shoes turning to eggshells. You hoop so much all day. And it's weird because people don't even really realize I used to hoop because I don't talk. When I stopped playing, I stopped watching and talking about it. I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah. Do you feel like you ever get back into that hooping bag?
I doubt it. It got to take somebody because people hit me up every once in a while. I be too busy. People be like, hey, man, we got a league going. Can you do that? And I went and hoop with some of my boys from high school. How you still jumping like that? I'm like, I stayed in shape and I never played I didn't play after high school, so I don't have a bunch of injuries for real. That's the crazy part. Anybody who played college ball, football, basketball, they got torn ACL, they knees, they this, they that. I just didn't get no injuries, and I started working out. But, so I can still jump. I can still dunk in some work boots right now.
For something like you could drop gems for us too. What's the key to you feel like it's the great success for you to be able to stay in shape? Like things that you can, people can follow or something like that.
Man, end of the day, you gotta hold yourself accountable and you gotta think highly of yourself. So me, I think I'm personally up here to myself. So if I tell myself I'm getting up at 6 a.m. and I don't, I'm like, man, you a bitch. And all day I gotta walk around. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling myself, like, man, you a whole ass. Look at that. You told you talking about you was going to the gym. You ain't even go.
That's real.
You know, for real. You gotta kind of check yourself for real. Yeah. That's really what it be. It don't even be about nobody else. I don't be looking at what other people lift. Yeah. None of that. I just kind of focus on myself and be like, man, you gonna let him do it? He up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So.
And another question is the 90s versus 2000s. If you had to pick which one.
Dang.
And I'm talking about including all the cartoon shows.
And see, what I hate about that is we only live one of those, so we can't even properly pick one over the other. But I think that's going to always be the dilemma. Everybody going to say that, oh, yeah, it was better right here. Yeah. Because the older you get, the more responsibility you got placed on you, and the more complicated life you get. Yeah. So our life was carefree in the 2000s, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. People that was in the 2000s when they was grown and back in the 90s, that's when they started getting stressed out and life started falling on their ass. So the 90s was better, man. Right now, if you think about it, you're probably like, man, remember we was younger in 2000, we watched Pokemon, and that's what that. I mean, it was carefree for you. So if somebody asks you how it's now compared to 2000s, you gonna pick 2000s all day because that's when you was in bliss. You like, I ain't got no responsibility. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
So even though I like the 90s better though, just for like the nostalgia reasons with Kid and Play, Fresh Prince, Martin, I like the vibes way better. But we might look 40 years down the line and like this moment right now the best.
That's real.
Because people probably thought about the 70s that way. Like, yeah, the 70s was it, man. Oh, yeah, man. You know, for real. They might have thought about the 70s. Like, yeah, boy, old man, you was in the 70s, boy. We look at them now like, what the fuck y'all had on, man? Y'all just...
Yeah, facts, man. Facts. But so I want to pivot to like some recent drops, just some notable songs we can get up on to. Migos, I think they end up splitting. You heard about that?
I was gonna talk about that on the next podcast.
Oh Lord.
Like,
Yeah, so I think they did a podcast, Big Facts, and then they were kind of speaking on it. But just in that, it's like we had these big things where let's say like New Edition, they kind of split into their own group, right? We had a lot of groups do that, but this is them happening in real life, you know. And I feel like this is a pivotal moment in hip hop. Definitely somebody like Migos, even though that they're still young in comparison to how music and what they've done. That is like some of the icons of the music we look at now. Like they're literally splitting. The music is changing. And I feel like that was notable to talk about on that. So how do you feel about that? Where now I think it's just only Quavo and Takeoff, and Offset's not in it now.
I think it's sad, bro. I think a group like that who has that much history, has done that much work together, it's hard to just kind of just throw that away and just move on from that. And I feel like at some point they're gonna come back together. They gotta come back together. It's only right for the culture.
I can see that. I think overall, we live in a time with this social media, man. Everything is kind of like, oh, what you gonna say back to that? What you gonna...
Yeah.
Bobby Brown couldn't sneak this none of them people in that group. Unless he had to go to a newspaper or something, or like a syndicate. He had to say something. Even then, they can kind of retract her, like, no, don't put that out.
Yeah.
Man, Quavo can be like, fuck these niggas, I'm the man in this group. Boom.
Yeah.
Nobody knew how David Ruffin was acting to the Temptation movies came out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody knew that ain't nobody come to see you.
I am the group.
Yeah, you wish you could work the way I do, but you can't. Because there's only one David Ruffin. Without him, this group ain't nothing but... He was tripping. He said, ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. You wish you could work it the way I do, but you can't. That boy, Otis, he had nothing to say. He was like, damn, bro. Like, for real? I ain't never heard a man, you wish you could work it the way I do, but you can't.
But it's another thing, though. I feel like groups are almost dying away in music. It's not too many times where you can see groups actually stay together the full ride like it used to be.
You know something, though? I feel like fans ain't the same at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The last Fanatics we really seen was probably for Chris Brown and them. And B2K and all that. Because think about it. Like, you get Apple Music, you could just buy your favorite song. You ain't got to buy the whole album.
Yeah.
You used to be forced to listen to the whole album, and you might like track number 7. Cause you listen to the whole album. But right now, I can say, what's the hit on this album? Boom, I want that. Then I go to a different artist, I want that song of yours. We build playlists instead of being fans of, artists like that.
I guess like albums back then were the art is the artist's way of saying, hey, these are the playlists of songs that I made this amount of time that it embodies. Maybe I went on a trip here or I stayed in LA to make this project, but now it's like we just want the one song. We don't really care about it. And we lose the story behind who is the artist. We only want that one song.
Like Off the Wall. You think about Michael Jackson Off the Wall?
Yeah.
That was about his times where he was going into disco every night. He was in New York now. He got away from his brothers, getting his own identity. Working with was it Quincy Jones now?
Yeah.
Working with Quincy Jones, and he hitting the disco studio 54 every night. And he just talking, like I said, put that 9 to 5 up on the shelf and just enjoy yourself. He was talking real.
Yeah.
Living for the weekend and having a time. Boy, we had a time last night.
Yeah.
But I guess it's like to the point you said, man, clout, man. A lot of this stuff is so cliche. People want the attention now.
They want that instant gratification.
Where the mystique of an actual artist, and I feel like in the 80s, definitely in the 90s, there were better musicians because they cared about the art itself. Now, today, we definitely have more technology, so you're only going to be more creative. But at the same time, it's the passion behind the music. I feel like it's missing, and that's really important.
Yeah. Even think about how MCs started in general, man. You was on the mic until the DJ got ready. You was stalling like, my DJ the best. He can, like, you was just passionate about how good your DJ is. Like, my man's better than yours. That's how they even started getting on the microphone. Yeah. And it went from that. Now you rapping about ladies, and you rapping about money and cars and clothes. I mean, it just kind of like escalated. But it was about scratching.
Yeah.
And their parents was disgusted. They like, man, put my records down. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing to my records, bro? Like, this is stupid.
Yeah. I think too. There's we talk about 2000s versus 90s. Just the technology is just different than it was back then. Like technology now, if we had smartphones back when Michael Jackson was, it would have been bananas. But like you said, like you can just it's easy the consumption, the way we consume music, the way we consume even movies too. Like where did Netflix come from? If you had Netflix in the 90s,
you're right.
We over here buying cassettes.
We had Blockbuster.
Yeah, Blockbuster buying tapes.
But to that point, I feel like the downside of that is that a lot of people who, when serious things go on in their life, I mean, I don't want to say everybody has a crash and burn moment, but everybody has a moment where like, hey, I need to be put in check, right? But when social media is so accessible, it's like the moment that you might need that or somebody to come in is like the world had already seen it.
That's exactly what. And that's the messed up part. It's the damage control. You can't do it no more for real, like you want to. Like Ray J just posted, you saw that on social media, pretty much like I don't want to be here no more on some,
damn.
Yeah, I mean praying for him, but he posted something like that, and it's kind of like, if this was like the 80s, you never would have knew that happened. Right. He wouldn't be able to post and tell the whole world that.
Right.
I can take my phone right now and tell you how I'm feeling. Not what somebody said, not a rumor. This is from my actual account. I feel like this. And they be taken and you can be hung for years. They can dig it up years later, like Kevin Hart, how he didn't get to host the award show because he said, so.
And even anytime you're in a media space, it's like how people cut clips up. They can take however much content you make, scheme it, and paint something totally different, and then whatever fits the narrative. Like they could be talking about, let's say somebody stole a car, right? And then they could look at an old clip like, damn, we just stole a car, but it could have been a movie clip. You had to say something else, right? It's just somebody took that and tried to paint him, and it can get out of hand. I feel like, and that's the bad part, because Kevin Hart saying that even now, it was back when he was younger. He definitely had growth in his life. You feel me? The context behind what he said, he could have been 2 a.m., 3 a.m. leaving the club drunk and just got into a fight. You feel me? You don't know what was going on in that time, but it's just people who use that type of shit.
You're right, and it's like it's no redemption with social media almost, man. It's kind of like, well, you said it. They don't want to hear nothing else. You said it. You shouldn't have said it. That's it. Like you can't change your opinion on matters and stuff like that. So. That's why I think we get better as a society with not just saying anything no more, because we've seen what happened. There's been sacrificial lambs out there.
Closer to the mic, because it did just get louder.
Yeah, it's been those sacrificial lambs out there. So, you know what I mean? We've seen what could happen if you go on a rant, quote unquote, or you just, you off the rails. So, make damage control easier when you don't do that.
Exactly,
but it's people out here who don't have that kind of discipline, man. And they ain't got a team of people behind them. They do anything,
Yeah. Especially, I'm looking at Kanye West right now, too.
Oh, man. What you gonna tell him, man? He a billionaire. Like, who do he have in his corner? After his mom was gone, I don't know if y'all watched the Netflix special on Kanye.
Yeah.
It was dope.
See, and I think Kanye is a great artist. I feel like he's a great example at certain things, right? The Gap deal he did, right? That's a great example of a black person having their creative vision, and they have full control of that, right? But we remember when Kanye was talking to Sway, years ago, when you yelling at another person on camera, right? The whole conversation behind what Sway was trying to say was a healthy conversation. Instead, you arguing and the narrative gets lost and yelling, two black people on camera yelling and shit, right? And you can't convince me that Kanye did not distract the real narrative. The real narrative was get full control. And now that he got it, is that all that shit he was doing in between was just fucking up, or he still got to the point he was trying to get to. It just took him longer because you're distracting people with bullshit that does not help. It does not push the narrative, the conversation that's really important. Yeah,
that's what it is. It seems like it's a bunch of foggy thoughts that can't be sorted out properly, because you don't just by happenstance get to be a billionaire and all that kind of stuff and what he accomplished. It don't just happen. He's not lucky or nothing like that. It's a method to the madness, but there's so much propaganda in front of it, and he kind of like, distracting people, like you said.
Plaguing Kanye West right now is his mental health. I think
for sure.
I mean, you got to think though, how would that affect you mentally for real if you struggle with your mom's your best friend, you finally making enough money to give her whatever she want, and then that procedure is what really her untimely demise was from that was something that wasn't even really needed. It was some extra stuff that something got to say to him. Dang, if I didn't have all this money, she wouldn't even been able to do that. You know what I'm saying?
That's deep, yeah.
So it's no telling where his mind went. And, that's somebody else you got to keep your prayers because it's like, man.
Yeah,
that's a
something
lot.
like that big kind of stress can like really cause somebody, to kind of
crack.
Go, yeah.
And that was his best friend.
And it's so like unfortunate. With Kanye, just simply off the fact that he was the person that black people were rooting for. He made those records that people loved. He said those things that were unapologetic on camera. But the scary part is that at the same time, he was not Martin Luther King. And regardless, Kanye is in the business of entertainment. In order to be to the same rank that we hold him, you do have to sacrifice money. Because we could say him like Barack Obama, but Barack Obama didn't make. It's not worth $1 billion. He's not making 50 million. Literally, the route that Barack Obama did was a pay cut, but in that he was doing more service for the people.
Yeah.
You feel me? And what Kanye does is definitely influential, but it's music influential, and I feel like it's different aspects behind life. You feel me? Than just entertainment. Even though it's a big influence, it's not the only thing. You feel me?
That's true.
That's a sad part, but. Man, Kanye, man, hope everything comes together for you.
Yeah,
we praying for you, man. You was definitely a reason why, like, I even listen to music the way I listen to. But
he shifted the culture for sure.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. But also too, man, what's next for you? What's the next big pillar to you or big thing you want to tackle in the next couple months? I know you have a movie coming out.
Book coming up.
You said you wanted to get in book coming out. You said you wanted to get into a little bit more action roles, but it's something that you want to get into in the near future.
Really, I want to keep it going, man. It's more movies and films I'm in too that's coming out the rest of this year. And Christmas movie I'm in is coming out. It's called Cupid's Christmas.
Okay.
So that's coming. I got a little cameo on that, and that'll be November 11th at the Imagine Theaters.
Oh, word.
Michigan. Yeah, that's gonna be coming out. And it's the other projects, man. I'm just kind of waiting for them to drop. So really, I'm staying patient, staying ready, staying in the gym, stay sharpening up my skills. You know what I'm saying, acting wise and just staying available. So my next big thing I'm trying to do is an action role though. So in me, I believe I don't need to be in everything. Yeah. You know, it ain't a knock to nobody who is in everything. You look on Tubi or you look just anywhere and they like, oh man, yeah, all over the place. I kind of sit back and I like pick and choose what I want to be in and what's for me and what's not. So I feel like the next thing I want to do for real is something action. I don't care if I'm playing a detective, a cop, or military. I kind of want to sit back and wait for that to come. And if I see something in the meantime that's like, that I actually fool with, I do it. But I don't really, my main thing is making sure every project I do is going to age well with my conscience. Because people do stuff and they look 2 years later like,
So it's not about the money with you at all.
Nah, I already got a career, man. I can stop doing this. I can stop doing everything I'm doing and be totally happy as a fireman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody told me shut all that down. I can just be a fireman and be happy. I feel guilty at work sometimes, the amount of how much fun we have and, we get to help people. I'm like, man, I'm getting paid for this.
Can you speak about that too? Because I don't think we expanded enough on that. It's a huge part of your life is being a family man. Can you talk a little bit like more into that too? Because I know that's a big part of
Oh yeah, man. I just grew up close knit, man. Like my immediate family. I talk to my dad probably every other day or every morning. He hit me like, hey man, what you up to?
Yeah.
My daughter, man, she called me Batman, and then she called herself Robin. So I had to buy her a Robin Halloween costume.
Oh, that's right. That's the costumes for this year.
Yeah, Batman and Robin, because she's just obsessed with Robin. She's like, hey Batman, blah 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 blah. It's real casual. She'll wake up in the morning like, oh, what you want for breakfast? I want some pancakes and some eggs, Batman. I'm like, you still on that? Like that was yesterday. Yeah. So even if it's my brother. My sister, like everybody, I'm close with everybody, man. I got my own personal relationship. I try to build a personal relationship with everybody I'm especially related to. Like even me and you. Yeah. We got our own thing that we could talk about that it's not even like you hang out with my brother more than me. Yeah. But it never has to be the three of us to hang. It was his birthday. We was up here. He left and we still kicked it for almost an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Facts.
So I just like having my own thing with everybody to where somebody don't have to hit me up and then, let's go do this with that person.
And then also hitting you up is when getting you on the phone, it's like, You give the right gems, and I feel like you're ready to. Everything is meaningful, That's very important too.
But see, I bumped my head a lot in my early 20s, and I didn't have nobody was really telling me what to do per se. Yeah. Most people around me, they give me some advice here and there, but most people was hands off, and I was doing stuff nobody did before, like in my immediate circle. Yeah. So I didn't have nobody to really get advice from for real. I would get life advice from my pops and uncles and little nuggets here and there, but nobody can actually tell me.
Yeah, because I've never seen somebody, because remember you told me the story when you did the real world thing, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm sitting here like, bro, nobody around me even had the wish to even say, hey, man, I'm just going to go.
Yeah.
They just booked a flight for me to go, and I'm going to just go. I don't know what's about to happen. I don't know
For
who I'm
real.
about to meet. I'm about to just embark on this journey and enjoy it. There's always positive vibes when you do the experience down to the firefighting. It's like,
You got to, man. You got to be.
yeah, that's just.
You got to be open, man. I auditioned for the real world back in the day, whatever, and I got good news. I'm thinking I'm going to the next round and stuff. And I think I got off on a Friday. They said, if you can get to Chicago, we got an interview for you. I took my whole check, which wasn't nothing but $200-something. I bought a Greyhound ticket round trip. That was most of my money. I had a stack of quarters in my room in a Crown Royal bag.
Yeah.
And I put that inside my backpack. And I'm like, all right, this got to be at least like 15,000 quarters, something like that.
Yeah.
Man, everything sitting. I had an LA Fitness membership. So I showered there and I kind of lingered inside LA Fitness in Chicago until it's time for me to do my stuff because I had no hotel room. Got some good news. I'm like, I got to celebrate. Man, I walked past this alley. It was probably about 4 homeless dudes just kind of just kicking it, chilling in the alley. I'm like, hey, y'all drink? They're like, hell yeah. Man, I went and got the biggest, cheapest bottle of liquor I could get, a bunch of cups. We sat in the alley. They told me stories. We drank. Some of them was homeless on purpose.
That's the realest shit.
We was just kicking it, man. And it was near a Greyhound station, so I'm like, all right, I'll catch y'all later, man. My bus here.
Yeah.
But it was either that or just sit in the Greyhound station and wait. That was way more entertaining. I ain't gonna lie.
real shit, man.
They was happy too. We hope you get the real world, man. We hope you get it, bro. I done told them all kinds of stuff. Like, yeah, man. I ain't get it, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a story though. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That's what's up, man. But we appreciate you, man. Where can people find you and follow you? If they want to get in contact, reach out to you, even just see what you're posting, see what movies you have coming out.
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Donnell J. Clayton. So it's gonna be on really everything I do is gonna be Donnell J. Clayton. So Instagram, Twitter, which I don't really tweet much, but I was told maybe I should. Facebook, TikTok. I mean, you can find me on all at Donnell J. Clayton.
Definitely, man. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you continue to ask more questions. What we have in the future and everything. But man, we appreciate you coming out, man.
No, I appreciate y'all, man. This is,
man, for sure.
I really appreciate it for real.
All right, man. That's a wrap up then.
Yeah, appreciate it. Tune into Thirsty Sound Podcast. Till next week. Peace out.
Yeah.